Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's get to this. People need to stop lying to yeah. People need to stop lying to themselves. This is why you do warm up before you start recording. That's what a professional would do, which I am not. So anyway, it says, "Hey Perch, hope you and the family are doing well. People really need to stop lying to themselves about why they don't buy comics or as many comics as they used to." So before we get into the mail, I'll give you my theory. Why what is a core reason? Well, a big one is just it's like don't take this the wrong way, but it's like they just grow out of it. Doesn't mean that comics are immature and mature people don't read comics. Not at all. It's just it's like eating your favorite food for a while. Eventually, you want to eat different food. So I think that's a big reason. And when you have so many comics coming out, you do start to just get to I would like to do something else. So you kind of lose interest over time. People who watched wrestling in the 90s, they drifted away. Now, granted, quality differences, other things definitely come into play as well, but there is such a thing as just, your interest evolve. And that's pretty common that stuff like that happens. So, I mean, I think that's one of it. Um, and the other thing I would say, why do people kind of, why are people buying fewer comics today is because um, a lot of what gets you into something is kind of similar to your tastes evolve and you just change. You come into something in a certain way, and then as the comics change, you find it no longer appeals to you. So this sounds like it's actually not profound at all. Consider you're watching a show and there's a storyline for the season is going to have you've got a writer and the writer has a mix of humor and action and other things, and then you get to the next season and there's a new writer and the new writer wants to kind of veer more in horror, and it's just not what you want anymore. You still care for the characters, but it's different. The writer's writing them different, so you lose interest. It's no longer for you. The thing is, I think that all that's it's both not very dramatic. It's just kind of normal human behavior, and yeah, and again, there's other factors as well, which I think the mail's going to get into. But the most important thing is there's no shame. I watch a lot of comic fans wrestle with this idea of like I'm gonna quit. They're not appealing to me. I've got to quit, and it's almost like they're really struggling with it. But you don't need to. You could just be done. It's okay. It you lose interest in things all the time. It's not like a marriage. You can just start buying other things. It doesn't need to be a shameful thing. It doesn't need to be like you have to justify why you're not as interested anymore. I think just speculating here, but I think a lot of the arguments that go on around comics are they get involved with people trying to give a justification for why they don't like something, and there is no need for that. You can just not like it. You can just unplug, be done. You're done. Very easy. But anyway, I think the reaching for reasons winds up getting a lot of people in some trouble. But the mail may finally go into it. All right, so let's see what this person has to say about where people are lying to themselves with comics. Okay, number one, back to the mail. They say they're too woke. First, as you've mentioned before, Perch, there's no singular definition of woke. If we assume just base level political correctness, focusing on LGBTQ plus and minority characters, it's really not that prevalent. It does happen, and you can point to a couple of examples. But if you pick up a random comic on any given week, you aren't likely to see much of it. That is true, by the way, and it is. We focus on a few. People point out the few. But if you sit down there and you look at the, I don't know, 40, 50 odd comics, 60, sometimes more, that are coming out in a given week, many of the comics are benign where this is concerned. They honestly, truly are. All right, so take any monthly ongoing for the big two. Look at the last three issues. How many examples do you actually find? The people who think this is a major problem spend too much time on social media and reading headlines from the comic book dirt sheets. Yeah, I think that there's truth to that. You pick up Venom right now. I think Ron B and Al Ewing doing that book, or maybe just Ron B at this point. Just read that issue this morning. Dylan is trapped inside of Venom, his mind, and there's kind of a battle that's going to go on with his dad, and there's there's an evil organization trying to get to him, and I don't know. There's very few. I think there's very few humans represented all in that book. Three. I think they're all white. Again, not that you're counting the races, but there's no mention of any sexuality or gender stuff. It's just there. I guess you got you know Eddie Brock or a facsimile of him kind of walking around without a shirt on. Maybe that's gay. I don't know. But anyway, my point. You can go through these issues, and I read Avengers nonstop Avengers or whatever. Um, and the weirdest part of that book was the artist, Greg Land, at one point draws Captain Marvel, and she's been knocked out by an evil Doom, and she's still got the porn smile on her face, even though she's unconscious, and it's kind of weird. But otherwise, again, nothing. Pick up Amazing Spider-Man. There's some super weird drawings of Hobgoblin there, and Peter Parker's talking to Kamala Khan, as a lab partner. But that's all you got there. So you do get to this point where when you actually sit down to read the comics, there's less than you think. Right? X-Force is kind of a mess of a comic. Kraven is killing people. There's actually a cool line in there where he's like, "This Krakoa stuff is bullshit." I'm like, "You tell him, Kraven." Anyway, it's not as much as you think. If you are watching social media, you would assume that every single Marvel DC comic coming out is just filled with gay propaganda, and it's actually more rare than you think. But anyway, all right, back to the mail. Number 2, people say comics are too expensive. Are they expensive? Yeah. Should they be cheaper? Once again, yeah. Here's the thing, though. How many people have had to quit a book they loved because of the cost? I'm guessing it's roughly 0. How many more comics do people think they would buy if they cost $2.99 or even $1.99 an issue? Again, I'm guessing it's roughly 0. Now, I don't think I'm telling you tales out of school here, but I've heard tell that with a small effort, you can find any comic you want to read online for free. If you say you quit comics due to cost, are you reading every comic that interests you online for free? If you're an X-Men fan, are you reading X-Men related book for free online? Oh, here's the police coming to get me for talking about this stuff. Wow, this police, oh, there's a few. We got a bunch of police cars here, and they are not driving entirely safe, I'll say. Huh. 3 cop cars. Anyway, they're after something. Don't know what. Got the lights on, and they pass right by. There you go, recording a video. I can't agree completely with this statement because I've had people come into the shop and go, I can't afford all these comics. Now, maybe the nuance here is a book they love. Maybe somebody who's buying like 10 books and, a couple of them are kind of on the fence about the price pushed them over. But people have absolutely opted out because of price. And even though like it's $1 more or $2 more than what they are comfortable with, it's still there's a psychology to it where it feels like too much, and so they start to opt out. So definitely that does happen. As for reading online for free, I mean, people do it, but I also think that the thing about reading online for free, it's a little bit like digital in general, because you've broken the release and you can just go read an entire run. What I find happens with people when they talk about going on one of these sites, they may be catching up on the new comics, but they quickly find their attention diverted to older comics. They're like, I could be reading this comic I don't enjoy, or I could go back and I can, with a couple clicks, read the entire like last 200 issues of, X-Men, and they just do that. It's very convenient. Just read the back issues, and the back issues are going to be, the kind of the amazing adventure they remember with these artists. So if you're sitting there going, man, this Krakoa era sucks, and I won't buy it, I don't want to spend money on it. I'm out. I'm going to go online and read for free. My suspicion is you quickly don't read for free either. You just start reading the back issues. But I don't know. I don't have enough data to say whether it's true or not. But that's my suspicion. But people have opted out for price. It is true. All right. We're getting to the last paragraph here of this mail. Wrapping up. No, says a writer, the reason people aren't buying comics is that they used to buy is because the comics aren't good. Before I stopped buying ongoing comics around 2010, I'd gotten fed up with what my opinion was nothing but terrible stories with zero effort put in to maintain any real adherence to continuity. I broke the habit of buying comics I didn't like, and I was better off for it. I pick up occasional one-shots and miniseries from creators I've enjoyed in the past. I really enjoyed Hickman's Hawks Pox, and I had a lot of hope that it would finally bring me back to buying regular comics. I swore to myself that if they go for one full year of comics, not screw up my favorite characters, Apocalypse, that I would buy all the back issues and start buying the ongoing series. Well, what happened? Hickman decided to save me the trouble by starting Ten of Swords with issue 12. I would happily buy upwards of 10 comics a month for $5.99 a piece if I actually liked them. That's less than a night out of drinking with friends. Not in Texas. They're selling that's a place buying they were selling ranch water for $2.99, cheaper than a comic. You can get loaded for way less than Ten of Swords. Anyway, however, I won't spend $1 for a comic I don't like, says Mail. Okay, cool. I think I agree with this premise, and it is the core, and it is where look the social media and YouTube blitz is to go after woke and go after the ruining my children and that kind of stuff. And make no mistake about it, there's issues out there. There are people who absolutely pursue their own kind of crazy things, but by and large, the core issue is that the comics, are in a lot of cases not good. When you have a comic where you said not adherence to the continuity, when you got a comic series that's going to go, 3 issues and then get canceled, or they're going to roll out an event that just connected to nothing else going on in the series, and they're trying to do logistics, or they're saying this is well, look, right now in AXE, Magneto has died in X-Men Red. It is like his heart ripped out, and there's a star in there, and like he's dead now. So is he dead? Oh, fuck no, he's not dead. But they're billing it as like super consequences, and he destroyed his backup in Krakoa. So there's no way he can be brought back to life now. He's coming back to life. Of course, he's coming back to life. That's the you know this going in. So when you have events and there's no consequence and there's no real anything, and just it starts to not matter. And that's what we have here. It just starts to if you lose that feeling of I must read, and the story's not that good, the art's changing all around, and the price is getting higher. I mean, these things add up. At the core of it, forget about the agenda. The story isn't good. If you hired like you're the best writers in the world, and you're gonna do these same weird plot points with Captain Marvel, people would buy it if the story was compelling and powerful. And we know this, we've seen it. It's you get a dull, uninspired, go nowhere storyline, and yeah, it doesn't work. That's fundamentally where we're at with comics right now. Not all of them, but the apathy is the enemy. Not this agenda, that agenda. It's apathy. It's I don't even care to read this comic because there's nothing that's going to happen into it. The consequences that are being promised will not stick. So what does it matter? I mean, in AXE, you've got a giant celestial blowing up cities. Like they're just showing lava break free from the ground. I mean, it's Judgment Day, and like heroes are getting murdered all over the place. Right now, as I'm recording this, Captain Marvel, Thor, Captain Marvel's dead. Dead. Their corpse is rotting somewhere, wherever the hell they're having this fight with the Celestial. It's over. Do we think that Captain Marvel is going to remain dead? Do we think that over in Dark Crisis, the Justice League is going to remain dead? Of course not. Why is it? And I talked to some people at DC. It's like, I don't know. He's like, of course, I'm sure the fans knew that we wouldn't really kill the Justice League, that they'd come back. It's like, but we were disappointed that, they didn't even want to play along with the idea that they could be dead. Why would they? Like, what a goofy thing to think. Like, you're not actually going to kill these characters. We know you're not going to kill them. So, what are you even doing? Anyway, I do think that's the problem. I think it gets disguised in a lot of, look at all the gay and this gay with gay over here. I think there's a lot of that people kind of yell about, and why wouldn't you? It's look at the hits of the videos that go all in on DC is dying tomorrow. Gay, gay, gay. That kind of stuff gets way more traffic. So, people keep doing it. But at the reality, the people are actually buying comics or coming in, coming out. Like, the story sucks. That's why they're out. There's no feeling like it matters. To collect this book, it doesn't matter. And if you lose that feeling like it matters, you're done. If comics wants to succeed again, you got to make the stuff count. Got to make the stuff matter. I don't think that'd be that hard to do, but anyway, thank you very much for the mail. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for listening.